Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to the S.O.S. Veteran Entrepreneur Spotlight. Hey, so remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the Vet SOS Lifeline. Hey, so on today's show, after serving 21 years in the United States Navy as a senior chief, Jason has transformed a lifelong passion for graphic design into a mission-driven creative outlet by founding Bull Squid Studios LLC upon his retirement. He turned his hobby of graphic design into a business that allows him to enjoy every phase of the creative process. Unlike many businesses, his motivation is nonprofit, but rather than the pride in crafting meaningful mementos for fellow service members, veterans, and local communities, Bull Squid Studios specializes in custom challenge coins, logos, pins, laser engraving, and personalized keepsakes designed to tell stories, preserve memories, and honor the people behind them. How you doing today, Jason?
I'm doing fantastic. On yourself?
Doing well, man. Doing well. So I'm gonna hop right into the interview. So talk to me about, looking back, senior chief, great career, great time in. Talk to me about the three biggest lessons you learned in transition from the military to civilian life, and how do they shape you who you are today?
So, being in the military for 21 years, there's always a game plan. There's always instructions of doing stuff, right? So
Mm-hmm.
transitioning, there's no instructions. You just have to do your research, ask for help, look at different veterans and active duty resources to kind of guide yourself, right? So
Yeah.
that was my biggest struggle because getting out to service, everyone has different ways of doing it, right? You talk
Yes.
to everybody. I did it this way. I talked to this person. So you just have to grab other resources and basically ask for help. Be okay to say ask for help, right? So that's what my lessons learned that I had, right? And next one is it's okay to be uncomfortable. Right? Because a lot of us want to be uncomfortable. We get nervous. We kind of back out. Says, oh, no, I could do five more. I could re-enlist, right? What I always tell sailors is that, everyone knows their time to get out. Some people it takes 5 years. Some people it takes 20, 30 plus years, right? Y'all know when the time to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, it was my wife. She goes, hey, I want you to come home. So
Gotcha.
as soon as she told me that, I'm all about family. I came home. So I know that's only two, but that's my biggest lessons learned, right? Just ask for help. There's no game plan for getting out. There's a whole bunch of resources out there, many resources for veterans, for active duty personnel who's planning to transition. If you plan to retire or just say, hey, I'm done 10 years, 5 years, I'm ready to transition.
Got you. So now take me back to the moment that the entrepreneur spark ignited for you. What was going on in your life at the time that you decided to build your own thing and go the entrepreneur route instead of taking the safe route, maybe by taking a job or being a GS or some type of government contractor?
So that's funny because last two things you mentioned, that's what I was. That's why I was a contractor and I'm currently a GS, but I kind of want to backtrack a little bit, right?
Hmm.
The spark initially started with my dad. When I was young, my dad has a family business called Garcia Plumbing, right? And that was handed over from my grandfather.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, I go help on my dad and just seeing him going to other places and helping out people, right? And at the time, it was just plumbing. So at that time, when I being 12, 15, 16, right? I like that. I like going and helping other people. So that's what got me into being in the service, right? So during my service, I kind of dabbled with my own business, my own thing, right? I have a passion of art. So I love at the time, my first thing I tried was DJ. My dad was a DJ. He taught me how to be a DJ. So I did DJing, and then everyone needs their calibrator. My calibrator is my wife. So she said, "Hey, you're spending lots of time on this, but are you going anywhere? Right? Are you doing anything? Right?" And I said, "You know what? You're right." So I stopped that, and then a couple years, I kind of just coasted to see what's the next thing best for me. Next was I started to build bicycles, right? I had that always had that itch to doing graphics, right?
Hmm.
So same thing with the bicycles. My wife's like, "Hey, You're doing a lot of work, you're doing outstanding, but what are you giving back, right? What are you doing? You're doing bicycles, but what are you doing for everyone else, right? Are you giving back to your community, building bikes? And at the time, I was in Japan, so I love Japan. But I said, you're right. So I kind of stopped, and she kind of said, hey, you love art so much. Why don't you just feed off of that, water that seed? So, on my last 2 years being in the service, I used to draw, and there's things called challenge coins. So, the chief master, SRF, JRMC out of
Hmm.
Japan, is a shipyard out of Yokosuka,
Yeah.
and said, hey, we're looking for artwork. So, I put my plug in there, and they liked it.
Hmm.
And that became a challenge coin. So that kind of
Got you.
grew, right? So I was doing graphics arts for other people. And then finally my wife's like, hey, you do a lot of things for other people. Why don't you start something on your own?
Hmm.
So from there, that kind of, my wife kind of watered that seed for me, and kind of grew to what it is right now. So being Bull Squid.
Got you. So talking about Bull Squid, now that you can think of that business, or I guess we say nonprofit, what's been the most rewarding part for you as far as the entrepreneur spirit of it, and what lights you up when you do this Bull Spirit business on a daily basis?
So what I like out of the most of doing it is making mementos for people, right?
Okay.
It could be a spouse getting something for an active duty member, and something that touches them and means a lot to them. A lot of retirement. So being a chief, right? It's one of the things that we learn. We go through a thing called transition from being an E6 petty officer, becoming a chief petty officer, a leader, right? So we
Hmm.
put these anchors on. The anchors mean a lot to us, right? So you're a chief, active duty, and everything. When you retire, you're still a chief. So one thing that we have is our anchors. We wear a uniform, and I make a memento as a keepsake that we something that we kind of put them in. It's called a vessel. So I can retire your anchors in a vessel. So that's been a lot of people have been liking that. So I'm making little small vessels for your keepsake for the anchors, just making small little mementos that hit people personally. So that's what I kind of do it for, right? Um, I, I, I don't make any profit from a lot of this. Everything goes back into the business, or I give back to the community. I'm all about community over competition, right? So I know there's a lot of other businesses out there, more competition. They want to be the first one out there, just make a graphic. But I like talking to other business that do the same thing I do, and just building that community among us, and also giving back to active duty members, or people who help and support the veteran community.
Got you. So now you have a very different business model, and I know it may not always be sunshine and rainbows, but what's been the hardest or most frustrating part of your journey? And then how do you deal with that?
So the hardest part of this whole thing was starting it. I
Mm,
had to do everything myself. Um, there's lots and lots of resources out there. But with myself is that I wanted to set up a game plan. I make a lot of lists, right? So I started something like, all right, I want to become official, right? So next thing official, like the steps of how to get official, and doing the research, becoming an LLC, starting getting a business account, getting it known. So that was the hardest part I had. But the good thing about this community is always asking for help. That's one thing I learned about being active duty is,
mm-hmm.
especially in the Navy, we're all as a team. Everyone's a line handler. Everyone he's around the line, and everyone's a firefighter, right?
Yeah.
There's no one that's a solo individual. So we all come together. So with that, in the coin community, especially in the Navy community, is we always ask. So I see other individuals who have their own business and reach out and say, hey, what's been working for you, or what do you think that I should improve on, right? It's also accepting failure. That's another thing. There's a lot of designs I made that didn't get anywhere, or my clients was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go a different route." So
Yeah.
that's the hardest part. Is just learning how to start it, and then going and asking for help, accepting the failure, say, "Okay, I got it," and reaching out for other people.
Okay. So now, I mean, we know being an entrepreneur is kind of lonely, but for you, did you plug into any businesses? I mean, any other veteran programs, mentorships, or any communities to help you launch your business?
No, I did not.
No. Okay.
I literally started everything off for myself, right? But I did ask a lot of other individuals who started their own business and have it established. A
Gotcha.
couple I'm gonna kind of throw out there is Anchorman. Anchorman has a very good community, very good business, and I asked him a lot. He's been guiding me through a lot. He helped me out at the recent Anchor Fest in Jacksonville. Said, hey, this is what I recommend you to bring. Also asked other business like Lady Goat. Awesome, is very good entrepreneur, female, came out and helped me out and getting established, right? So there's a lot of other businesses out there that I just basically asked for help, researched, and kind of get me stable.
Gotcha. All right. Well, so now tell us about your business. What exactly is you do? Who do you serve? And what makes you a little bit different than other companies that are out there?
Got it. So, Bull Squid, I do got a graphic arts graphic design. So, individual will come up to me with a sketch, a drawing, stick figure, whatever it is. And, hey, I want this to become an actual graphic. So, one of the things, my logo, my motto I have is, what would you create? So a lot of people will ask me, it's like, hey, I want to create something. Like, what would you create? Tell me about it. So, they'll describe their story and how the coin, how they want their coin is. I tell them, hey, draw it for me, and I can make that come reality. So I'm a first hand graphic designer. So I
Mm-hmm.
do everything, all the graphic design I do myself. A lot of people have been using AI. Love AI. I use it as more of a tool, but not as my sole driver, right? So that's, I think I feel it's different is you're working with a one-on-one person that gets your sketch to reality. And then next is that I help others, right? So I don't do anything for profit. I get everything back into my business, or I transition to a community helping veterans or helping active duty members, right? So a lot of people was like, "Why? How do you establish a business like that?" So
Yeah.
it's just how I am. My mom and my dad is also, my parents taught me how to give back to other visuals, right? Give it back to other people who are unfortunate, to help them out. So that's what I do as Bull Squid community. My business is um, taking someone's idea, a thought, a picture, become a reality, and making it a keepsake, making it a coin, making it a graphic, a keychain, whatever it is that touches them and they can relate to.
Wow. Okay. So basically, basically taken a business model and kind of made it a non-profit sort of kind of, because you're giving all the profits back to either help the business, because you're not technically growing the company, you're just making sure you maintain a business, but then you're also giving back to the community with some of the proceeds that you receive, right?
Correct. Yes, yes. So every year I do for like Thanksgiving I give thanks, right, to shout out to other individuals, other businesses, right? I buy their
Mm-hmm.
products or show them off. Also, I donate to Toys for Tots or the McDonald's Club, right? I'll donate that coin profits to those organizations, right? So that's what I've been doing. That's what my parents taught me, is always to give back. Kind of, yes, it's nice. I would love to have a growing community, a growing business, but it's just me. I do the finances, I do logistics, I do the graphics. I am all in one person. So I do the social media, that is all me. So I do everything. So um that's, I think that's kind of different for me. I do one-on-one as well. And when someone asks me, I do all the focus on that one individual. I don't take another client until that individual's done. So other people have other businesses. I have multiple clients all at once. I like to focus on one person at a time.
Got you. Now, for anyone that wants to learn more about what you're doing and connect with you, and where should they go to get connected with you?
Um, Two things, well, multiple places. The easiest way to connect me is Jason G at bullsquid.net.
Okay.
Social media, that'd be outstanding. If you could follow me on social media, or like a page, comments, follows, whatever it is, on Instagram, Facebook, I got TikTok, right? But so, please, please don't get too mad at me because I don't update as much as I should, just because I do have a primary job. I'm a GS as well.
Okay.
So I work hand in hand with sailors every day. I go on board and I help them fix stuff. So with me transitioning, was one of the hardest parts, right? So I'm kind of jumping back. So I'm kind of going all over the place, but transition was very hard. So, the one thing I had was experience of my current job. And my job I'm an engineer. So I fix anything on board the ship dealing with engineering room, air conditioning, propulsion. That's what I do. So my job right now is kind of like the tech support. If a
Okay.
ship needs help, say, hey, we need help. They'll contact my code, and I go out there and help them out. So I deal with sailors every day. I help them find, fix, train the sailors on their own equipment, right?
Gotcha.
So that's what I did. I know a lot of people want to get out. They say, hey, I don't want to do the exact same thing that I'm doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me, it was a little different. I use a lot of resources that they're out there for veterans. People are transitioning to get into another career field, but I didn't feel like I fit there. Just because I wasn't doing what I love to do, which is helping sailors, helping others. So
Gotcha.
I was fortunate enough to get a position over in Jacksonville, Florida, was helping sailors every day of fixing equipment, teaching them how to run equipment, and using my experience and my lessons learned that I've had in my 21 years of service, feeding it back to them and teaching them how to operate their equipment or fix their own equipment. So when they're on deployment, they can fight that good fight.
Gotcha. Now, Jason, but before we go, we like to ask all of our guests this one last question. If you had to give advice to someone out here listening to our podcast or watching our podcast, what would you say to them? They wanted to start their own business, and maybe they want to give back their proceeds um, to the community, or just what if they wanted to just start a business that make it grow? What's the advice you would give to those folks?
One biggest thing is it's okay to be uncomfortable and it's okay to fail, right?
Mm,
It's the biggest thing that you have to accept that, right? So I went through many paths, many different ways to start a business, and don't delay, don't procrastinate. Make a list and say how do I want to get there. I don't like to put dates and deadlines on things like that because you kind of pressure yourself and you're just gonna give like a not your full attention to it. Say, hey, this is what I want to do, and that's literally what it did. It's just, hey, I want to become a business. What the steps and the resources out there to do it, right? Reach out to other people who are in that field, right? If you want to get into, like myself, get building bikes, right? Look at another company that does that, right? If you want to
mm-hmm.
become a DJ, like myself, I wanted to become a DJ. Look, go talk to other DJs and say, hey, how do we get in that field? If you want, whatever you want to do, talk to other people who've been doing it already and have something established, right? Ask for the resource and how they did it. I'm still learning. So when people come and ask me, I'm more than welcome to help them out. But just remember, I'm still learning. A lot of the mentors you talk to as well, they're still learning. You always get multiple mentors, always get multiple individuals, other businesses ask their advice. There's different ways to build stuff, different ways to start stuff. So that's the biggest thing, is reaching out, ask for help. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to fail. Just get up, rebuild, and keep going.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Hey, so go check out Jason Bull Squid on all social media platforms, and get connected with him for the work he's doing for the community and our veteran community as well. Hey, so I want to thank Jason for joining us on the Vet SOS podcast today. On behalf of the Vet SOS family, we'd like to thank everyone also for tuning in and joining us today. You can find the Vet SOS podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, and on all social media platforms as well. And make sure when you go on there, subscribe and follow Vet SOS so you don't miss anything like this. It's a great interview we did today. And remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the Vet SOS Lifeline.